Hey everybody, this is Cedric. You know me, or you don't. If you don't, hey, I'm Cedric. Hey everybody, I wanna talk to you about doing more stuff and being less busy. So I don't like to say there are two kinds of people because I think everything goes into a spectrum and mostly in a 3 or 4 dimensional spectrum. But I do sometimes see a difference between people who will say yes to doing crazy stuff, or well, not even crazy stuff, like saying yes, and people who say no. And I used to be one of the people who said no more, and yeah, I guess I want to share that experience of being a yes sayer. So what I mean by that is not like the crazy concept that was brought with the Yes Man, the movie with Jim Carrey, but more a spirit where you say yes to stuff that usually doesn't fit in your like agenda or like in your lifestyle. But I've been trying it for like a couple of months now, where I say yes to concepts and ideas where I thought I would say no to. And yeah, I've had the craziest experiences in the last month are a result of that behavior. And it's crazy. I mean, I wouldn't have a girlfriend if I hadn't said yes to a long distance relationship. I wouldn't even have a girlfriend because at the time I wasn't in a very good position for a relationship. But I said yes. I said let's go on this crazy adventure together, and it's paying off. I'm happy with somebody, as well as like me and Dave, a colleague of mine on my other channel, is we went to a crazy metal party and out of the blue and said, yeah, sure, I want to stay here, and we had a awesome time. And also, like, if there's something to do in Ghent, like if there's some event, I always try to go there, and if people propose stuff to me, I try to say, I don't even try, I say yes. I say yes. Of course, this excludes like ridiculous, crazy things like run around naked. No. But yeah, it's awesome. And I see sometimes people who are like, but I'm so busy all the time, and I'm busy. I think if you don't have your own company, or if you don't like really have to work 16 hours a day, and I believe that there are people who do this and have this and are busy, but I think that most people just make it busy for themselves, whereas they procrastinate a lot of stuff, where they will just say no to going to a party or meeting up with friends or going to have a drink. And like earlier this week, a friend of mine asked, hey, is it cool if I bring some friends to your place because you have a place in Ghent and we drink stuff? And I was like, I don't know your friends. And she even was like, I completely understand if you say no, but I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Come over, bring company. And I was like, yeah, sure, maybe I cannot go on the computer for an evening, but these people came over and we had an awesome time. I made new friends, and my neighbor complained that I was too loud, but hey. Yeah, I should be careful about that, because I live in an apartment now, which is new for me. I lived with my parents in a house since I was like 4 or 5, and I haven't lived in an apartment for 20 years, I guess. And yeah, it's back getting used to not play music all the time or in the evening. I'm also a very nightly person. And if it's 12 o'clock and I still have my music on my speakers, I don't, like, it's not weird for me. Like, people get sleepy. And I also work now, so I do get to bed earlier, but it's strange. But I'm going off topic here. So yeah, I'm saying yes more and saying yes to crazy propositions. And people say, oh, you want to go there? And I was like, yeah, sure. And it brings like cool experience, things you can talk about. Like, people always, I know people who complain like, oh man, this person, he's so lucky, he does this and he does that. But he doesn't do all these things because he's lucky. He does these things because he does things. I do know that there are like some more privileged people than others, and some people who have like financially a bit more stable, or have to I'm lucky that I live very close to my job. I know people who commute an hour or 2 hours each day, but I also like commute each morning. I go jogging every 2 mornings, and yeah, I try to like really plan my hours in a day. And once you start doing that, you can get way much more done. And you have to say yes to like, I'm gonna start on this, like say yes to yourself and say yes to your friends and say yes to people you trust, especially don't say yes to strangers, stranger danger. But yeah, and that kind of behavior brings more, it makes me more productive, it makes me more social, it makes me more outgoing. I was like, these clothes, they're a result of me saying yes to like older clothes I had still lying around who were like fancy, and people, especially somebody who tried to change me and was like, yeah, you should wear normal clothes. I was like, blah, and all these clothes were just hanging in my closet for weeks and months and years even. And now that I'm back like somewhat independent, I can I'm wearing these clothes again. Like I like to wear fancy clothing, makes me look fabulous. And I like to buy like fancy clothing, but not expensive clothing. I just buy them in a thrift shop or something. It's a great place to find cool, awesome clothing. But yeah, it's crazy. And just doing stuff you would normally not think. Like, yeah, you know what? That's your homework. Say yes to the first thing somebody proposes to you, except if it's not good. But yeah, and that's all I wanted to share for today. For the rest, small updates. I'm doing good. I'm doing great. Actually, my girlfriend's coming over this weekend, and she's gonna stay for an entire week if everything is okay. And yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Also, I started jogging again. I did kind of mention that now, but yeah, I start jogging in the morning, which usually I jog, like running. Jogging is a word, right? But I jog in the evening. I used to jog in the evening, and but now I'm gonna do it before work. I'm gonna stand up at 6:30, and the first thing I do is eat a banana, put on my clothes, then eat a banana. I don't eat bananas naked. But and then I drink a glass of water and I start running. I just go out, start running through the city. I take random routes until I get a little bit tired, and then I start slowly turning back. And if I sense that I can still put out some energy, I sprint one street to here, and it's great. It's awesome. And it's also a thing that like every morning I wake up and there's a discussion going on in my head, and one says, "You should go jogging," and the other says, "Ah, but the bat, it's so great." And at that moment, I have to say yes to jogging, and I say yes to myself. And I mean, yeah, sure, you can say yes to the voice to stay in bed, but that's not very productive. It's nice though. Anyway, I hope you're having a good day and a good week, and I hope you guys are doing great. I'm sending out all the love. Be kind, be nice, all the usual shit. And yeah, rock on. See you later.